Who's scruffy looking?
What is up, my fellow ladies and gangsters? It is me. Now I'm dressed as a stormtrooper right now, but my hair is really sweaty. Look.
That is right. What is up, our fellow nerds and gangsters? Welcome back to the Spiffy Nerd Herder channel. I am Danny. If you are interested in winning a signed poster by me, maybe by Luke, I don't know if you want.
That requires what?
Comment below of what you would like a personalized message to be. Keep it PG. Alright, so now, let's jump right in. We all know about the one and only Mace Windu, the bad man who used the amethyst blade and walked the fine line of the dark side of the Force with his abilities.
No.
But he wasn't alone in using the amethyst color for his lightsaber.
Amethyst blade.
Did you know that?
Know what?
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to be extremely skeptical about all this.
Now we learn about this other Jedi after the Battle of Yavin with Luke in the book Heir to the Jedi. Luke finds himself on rodeo with a female rodeo named Sunta, who takes him to the tomb of her uncle, Hulik, who was a Jedi Knight during the Clone Wars. She takes Luke to his grave to pay his respects to the fallen Jedi when she takes out Hulik's lightsaber from his unmarked sarcophagus and hands it to Luke. Now Luke recalls her saying, "This is Hulik's lightsaber, I believe. We buried it with him since we didn't know what else to do with it. Does it still work?" "I don't know. She handed it to me. Try it and see. It's yours." I blinked. "You're giving this to me? Wouldn't someone else in your family object?" Sunta shrugged her antenna. "At this point, I suspect I am the only member of my family who still comes to visit him. And it is not doing any good sealed away like that. I think it's an inheritance better suited to you than me. Perhaps you can learn something from it and one day become a Jedi like your father and my uncle."
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
"It would be good to have the Jedi return, I think." Pointing it carefully away from both of us, I thumbed it on, expecting the power cell to be long depleted by now. But it ripped to life and thumbed with energy. A brilliant amethyst blade.
Amethyst blade.
So who was this amethyst-bladed homie? I know this is Darth Vader's, but get over it. And was he powerful like the Mace? And did he skirt the dark side like everybody's famous take-a-seat man?
Take a seat.
And was he more powerful than the average Jedi?
No one can kill a Jedi.
Perhaps he was if he was able to escape clone troopers with Order 66. Most of our Rodian knowledge comes from poor Greedo. But I'd love to know more about Hulik, and if there were other Jedi who used the amethyst blade in canon.
You're under arrest, Chancellor.
It would have been sweet if Mace had his own Knights of Windu. Just of those Jedi who used the pod or skirted the dark side or something like that. All with amethyst blades. Could you imagine?
To a dark place this line of thought will carry us.
Probably wishful thinking, but we can dream, right, Luke?
I will not be denied.
No, you won't.
Do you have good instincts for things like that?
We learned from Sunta that Hulik fought in the Clone Wars, alongside Anakin Skywalker.
Good to see you, General. Ready to have some fun?
Sunta said this: "Apparently, this Skywalker saved his life at the Battle of Sandratus. They were swarmed by droid fighters, and my uncle's shields were depleted when Skywalker flew in between him and the next blast that would have killed him. Skywalker destroyed the immediate threat and gave Hulik's shields a chance to recharge. They were eventually victorious that day, and I'm given to understand that they fought together on several occasions." And this was actually Luke's first time hearing about his father's exploits as a Jedi.
No, my father didn't fight in the wars. He was a navigator on a spice freighter.
She goes on to say, "Like your father, he was betrayed. And he was shot by clone troopers who were supposed to be on his side. He made it to his ship, recorded a brief message about what happened to him with his astromech, and gave it orders to bring him back here. But he was already dead when his ship landed. His wounds too severe to survive the journey." He's happy about it, but what does it mean for us? Well, in addition to telling us a little bit about Hulik and who he was, it also tells us something that I think is pretty intriguing. That people, in addition to those that we saw in Episode 3, knew that the clones betrayed the Jedi. This is actually, I think, kind of a big deal. Because now, did these Rodians that were involved in this, did they have any place with the rebellion? I mean, it appears that they didn't because they tried to hide Hulik's grave by making it unmarked and generally just not talk about him. But I think it gives way to a potential for a lot of other stories about people who knew that the Jedi were betrayed, knew the true nature of the Empire, and possibly it fueled offshoots of the rebellion, kind of like we see in Rebels. So I think there's a lot of potential stories behind this. What do you think, Luke?
be denied.
Is the child correct?
So, what do you guys think? Do you want to hear more about Hulick? Or is it just some coincidence that he had an amethyst blade? I personally think that it can't be a coincidence because there are no coincidences in good storytelling. So, I would like to know more about him, how he got the amethyst blade, did he skirt the dark side? All that jazz. You know what I'm saying. He skirts the dark side a lot. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining us today, and stay spiffy, like Luke, can't miss Stormtrooper Ramirez, and don't do anything...
It's me, Luke Ramirez!
And don't do anything we wouldn't do twice.